In this video, I will teach you how to create a beautiful and a free survey, even if you're a total beginner and you've never done a survey before. I'll even provide you with a list of the most important questions you can ask in any survey. And by the end of this video, you'll be able to create a beautiful survey like this one here, or choose any of the many available survey templates. You can even use AI to generate you questions directly in this tool. No matter your style, you can accomplish this with my 7 easy steps so you can learn what your customers or employees think about you to help you improve your business. Hello internet people, my name is Robert. So step 1 is to head to the description of this video and click on the first link. This will take you to SurveySparrow website, which is the tool we'll be using to create our survey. SurveySparrow is also the sponsor of this video, and I've used many survey tools in the past, and I have to genuinely say I'm impressed with all the features this tool comes with. You will see why later in this video. So let's sign up to get started. So here, let's just sign up for the free trial. There's also a free plan so we can use it that way. And you don't need to add any credit card details or anything. So let me add my email and then the password. And then this is important, domain. I'm gonna just add my company name as domain so that way it looks professional. And then just let's sign up. And now it's asking us to verify our email. So go to your email client and then just grab this verification code. Let me enter here 1121 and then verify. And now you go through the onboarding sequence. In this case, it's just asking you if you do this for work or personal. For me, it's work. And then I'm going to use this mostly for customer satisfaction forms. And at this point, it's going to still try to onboard you, but I'm going to just stop it at here. So let's close this window so that we all start from the same point, because these onboardings, they can change any day. Right, I logged into my SurveySparrow and you can see I already have one survey here. So the step 2 is to choose a survey template or start from scratch. So let's go, we're in surveys, and let's click on this button, new survey. And we have a few different ways to create a survey. So we have here classic surveys. They look like this. You have the chat surveys. This is quite a pretty innovative way to present the surveys. I think it's really cool for certain use cases. And then you have the advanced ways of customer experience surveys and so on. You can explore them here. They're a bit more advanced. Now today we're just going to create a classic survey. And you can create 3 ways a survey. So first one is you can just start from blank. Then you can browse a classic template, so the different templates they already prepare for you. And then you can also make it with AI. So let's take a look at the AI. So let's give it a prompt. And I'm just asking to create, customer satisfaction survey. This is for my customers that I already serviced. So I have a website as a service. I build websites as a service. So this is basically asking the customers after I build the website for them. And you can see that the AI already suggesting questions. So on a scale 1 to 5, how satisfied are you with the overall website building services? So you can now go through these, and if you're happy with them, you can load more. If you're happy with them, you could just say from here, you can preview, or you can also customize the questions. So now you get to the editor from here. You can delete or add and things like that. So it's really cool if you're not sure what to do. But I actually want to show you how to use a template, because that way you already have also a design incorporated with that. So let's go back to home and let's create a new survey, and we're going to just use browse classic templates. On the left, you can search for templates, or you can just filter by, let's say, I want to do business. Then from here, you have some options. Let's say marketing. And I really like this one because it has a nice background there. I can already use it. So what we can do is click on it. And we can preview it by clicking around, seeing what type of questions it has. But don't worry, you can always customize pretty much everything here. So I'm going to just choose this template. I like how it looks like. Okay. We're just going to give it the name, and the rest I'm going to keep it as this, the folder, my surveys. Okay, create survey. Now here, I just want to explain how this works. On the left, you have the menu, and we're going to cover most of these. Then here you have the questions that already basically the template has. So we're going to go through those as well. And then you have the steps we're going to take to actually publish the survey. And then if you at any point you want to preview this whole survey, you can click on the preview here, and it will just show you how it looks like. You can just click around. Let's go back. Step 3, it's time to add our question to the survey. Now, one of the hardest parts of creating a survey as a beginner is to know what to ask. But I've got you covered. First of all, SurveySparrow has this cool feature where an AI can help you generate the questions. So I'm going to show you that a bit later. And then also SurveySparrow has this blog post with more than 160 survey questions. And I've just picked my favorites from there. And you can grab them from just the description of this video. They'll be there listed. But obviously don't use all of them, just pick the ones that fit your needs. Okay, so let's go back to the surveys. Just to start with, we have the welcome page. So you see here, this is basically the welcome page. And let's just modify it. So I don't want to have this logo, I want to have my own logo. So what I can do is I'll just delete this image. And now you can see from here, I can upload an image. You can use one from the free library, like this Unsplash, you could search here. But I actually have my logo, so I'm going to use mine. There you go. But you can see there's some text here. I actually don't want it. I could just either remove it by, basically just pressing on backspace, but you also have here description. I'm going to remove it. And here I'm going to paste actually my real text like this. And then we have this one, which is the button. So this is like, take the survey or something like that. So I'm going to change this to this, start the 4-minute survey. And you could also preview this. And if you just want to preview this step, you can just click on this one, view, and now you see this specific section. So this is the question. Okay, start the survey, and it will go forward from there. Okay, let's go back to edit, and let's go to the next step, which is from here, this question. So what best describes your role? Well, actually, I don't want to ask that question right now. And my question would be just, I want to ask their first name. So what we can do is scroll down here and add a question. And now let's choose, for example, contact form. You could do this 2 ways. You could either just ask with the text or contact form. But this contact form is better because then it actually goes to your contact details and things like that. So I'm going to use it. It adds all of these to here, but this is way too many questions. I just want their first name. So I'm going to remove this. Remove. Now we have only name, and let's add the question. What's your first name? So if I scroll down, there's more options. Here you could also set the default answer, but because it's a name, and I'm gonna make it required. So then there you have to enter something there. So we don't need to set a default in this case. Let's scroll up and just preview it. Okay, looks good. Back to editing. And now you can see that this, what's your name, is the last question. And I don't want that. I want to just grab it and just drag it to the top, just after the welcome page, like this. What's your first name? Perfect. Okay, let's go to the next question. What describes your... I don't want this. I'm going to just delete it by clicking on this little icon here. This is the trash icon. I'm going to need this question, so I can just reuse this one. So how did you first learn about Growbit? In this case, I'm just going to replace this with my brand name. And I actually like the options here, but I could add more if I want to. For example, from here, what else could it be? Newspaper. Let's say I just advertised recently newspaper, so then it would be here. You can add it there. Few options again. Because this is a multiple options question, you can randomize the questions, or basically the answers, so that it's not always in the same order. You can also stack them, but I don't actually like that option. Then you can allow multiple answers. You can select that there's an option for none of the above, so then they have the option to do that. I'm going to disable it, and also all of the above. And then you can set the default answer. Well, let's scroll up. Now, the cool thing is here, if I want to make this a bit more personalized, we can use the previous step, the answer from previous step, and add it here as a variable. So what we can say is, because we asked for the first name, I'm going to come here at the beginning, and there's this little dollar icon. Let's click on it. It's a variable. You see you have your contact details here, but you can also select from here, answer to question name. Perfect. In this case, let's say the person is named Bob. It would say, Bob, where did you first learn about Clicks Don't Lie? Now it's a little bit more personalized. It feels like, okay, we're talking to the customer directly. Let's preview it. And in this preview, you will not see the name, but if you come here and preview it, and let's take the survey, Bob, next, you can see Bob. Perfect. Oh, I like that. I don't need these questions, so I'm gonna just delete the questions I'm not gonna need for this tutorial. So just quickly, let's remove those. Let's go back to editing, and then I can actually remove them. Remove. So I got rid of basically most of the questions because I didn't need them. Mine is quite, this survey is quite short. So let's go to the next one. And in this case, it's just going to be open-ended question. So I'm going to use this one. What was the main concern or fear you had before purchasing the service? Now, if I'm not completely sure about this question, what I can do is use AI to help me rewrite this. So from here, wing it. If I click on it, I can rephrase it and see what the AI comes up with. What was the primary worry or apprehension you experienced prior to obtaining the service? A bit too formal for me. Let's try something else. Informal. Let's see how it writes down. Okay, worry or freak out before buying the service. Okay, maybe a bit too informal, but you can see that you get ideas like this. Not only you can rewrite it, you can also make it a bit more, longer or concise. That's up to you, but I'm going to keep it as what I created already. But there's this option to actually use AI to help you with these questions. Now, for the answer, right now it's multiple lines. I'm going to just select single line so that, we don't want long answers. We want something quite short so that we can also later analyze it easier. For this specific question, what's cool is that you also have voice transcript. So if you enable it, people are able to basically record their answer. So it looks like this. If I preview it, there's a little microphone icon here. If you press on it, they can just record it, which is pretty cool feature, right? Let's go back and then let's scroll down. You can see you have other options. But I think I'm happy with this question as is, so I'm going to keep it like that. So let's go and create the last question. In this case, it will be rating. So I'm going to select from here rating. You can choose the icons. In my case, it's going to be kind of how happy are you with the service? So I'm going to select that and paste in my question. And again, I want to have a bit more personalized, so I'm going to add that name there. Click on variable from here and use the first question as the variable. Nice. On a scale of 1 to 5, how likely are you to recommend our service to your friends or colleagues? And now they can select one of the emojis from here. Let's make this question also required and let's preview this specific question. Okay, perfect. Again, the name will be displayed there. This looks really nice. Okay, let's go back. And now we're going to make this question a little bit more interesting because what we're going to do is we can add here. So let's say if you answer 1, 2, or 3, then you're not very happy with us. So let's make a follow-up question only in that case. So I'm going to create a question. And it's going to be, in this case, we are going to ask, hey, if you were not happy with us, can we contact you? So can we get your email address? So I'm going to select email. And I'm going to say just, hey, apologize. Sorry to hear that we didn't meet your expectations. Could we reach out to you and make it right? I'm going to make it optional because in this case, we don't want to force them to answer this. So let's preview it. It would look like this. Oh, sorry, blah, blah, blah. Great. And now we need to create some logic. This will be very simple logic. Let's click on logic and display logic. And from here, we're going to select question because that's basically what we're basing this on. So previous question, and it's the question 4. If the answer is less than, in this case, 4, so it would be, if it's less than 4, right? So 3, 2, and 1 would fall into that. In that case, we're going to show this question. So let's preview this. And I need to use the full preview to show this properly. So let's take it, Bob, test, and from here, let me select 3. You see this this additional question. If we go back and select the 4, you won't see it, and you're ready to submit the survey. Let's go back. And before we submit the survey, we want to have some sort of a thank you page as well. So if you submit, you would see this one. So this is that last page you could see here. Thank you. Usually you just thank them. So something like that. And in this case, for example, I don't want to have the branding here. We could also add a button here. If you add a button, in this case, you could add some text. Go to our website and you could now add the link here. And this is how it looked like. View. You have this one and go to our website. So then you can also link people there. And in some cases, you don't want to show this specific thank you page. You could also page redirect the people. So instead of people seeing the thank you page, they would go to this URL. This is really up to you where you send them. But in most cases, you're not going to need that. So let's keep it to what it is. And by the way, as a quick tip, don't make your first survey too long. Keep it to like 4 or 5 questions maximum. The longer they get, the less responses you will get. You just need to get used to this. So step 4, let's change the colors and fonts to match our brand. I'll also show a few other survey settings in here. Okay, let's take a look at this one because we haven't really styled our survey. It just uses exactly the same styling as before. So let's do that. I'm just clicking on the first page, going to the designs. So you can see that here you have the options to change color. So let's change color. Let's say I want something a bit more blue or purple like this. But wait a minute, why doesn't it change here? Well, that's because this is actually in a big image. So this whole thing is just an image. But what we can do, I really like the image. I think it just adds nice. If you scroll down here, there's advanced background settings. And you see there's that image. Now, I could replace this by deleting this and then just adding my own image. But I like it. So what I'm going to do is here, blending, overlay. And now you can see you can adjust the colors. It's not going to be perfect, but you can at least adjust them. So from here, I can now play around with the colors. Choose the one I like, so something like this, purple colors. And right now the button doesn't stand out as good, so I'm gonna just choose the black one so it really stands out from there. There are a few settings you can set here, but let me show you the most important ones. I would definitely enable the indicate mandatory questions, show question numbers and progress bar, just to keep people aware that this is not a very long survey. Then the button style, I would just always keep it to filled. Fonts, you can choose from here. For example, let's say I want Roboto. I'm going to choose that and it just changes it on the fly. Text alignment, I'll keep it as is. And then you have the CSS customization, which is a bit more advanced feature where you can actually add some code to this page and it will change the styling as per your code. And then you have the white labeling options here. For example, you could change so that the SurveySparrow branding doesn't show up, but this is for certain, this depends on your plan that you select with SurveySparrow. So let's save and apply. Okay, then you have the variables. From here, you can create new variables or expressions. This is a bit more advanced, so we're not going to cover this during this tutorial, but this is a feature I really want to show you because if you are working in an organization where you have customers coming from different countries with different languages, this is really nice feature because in my previous company, we had this situation, we had 4 different languages. We had to copy the same survey 4 times to display it. But with SurveySparrow, you're able to create languages. And let me show you how it works. Let's say new language. From here, I'm going to look for Spanish. Here, Spanish. And you can even Google Translate this. This depends again on the plan you choose with SurveySparrow, but it's an option and it speeds up the whole process. So let's proceed. Now it will just translate everything. And if you're not happy with it, you can always check it. Yeah. So you come here, you click on it, you see Spanish. Is this really the correct way? I don't know. I don't speak Spanish that well. So your translator would need to go through these and check, but at least you already have something there so that you can work with. You see, it just translates everything. Let's save this because I'm happy how it looks like. And if I go back and let's just go to, for example, build, so I can show you how it looks like with the translation. So here you see, you have the option to select the language. Okay, and then you have the settings here, the configs. Here you can check what applies to you. Some of these are quite useful. You can, for example, set a password protection for a survey and also a cutoff date for the survey. But I would just check them here, what applies to you, and just enable them. And same thing, there's the email notification. So there's an email notification to you and also a thank you email if you choose to send those to your survey respondents. So up to you if you set this up. I've just disabled both here. Step 5, let's talk about integrations and workflows. And these are optional, but they are extremely powerful as you can automate your process. Okay, let's next take a look at the integrate step. That's the next step in this whole flow. And what we can do here is we can obviously integrate with other email providers. So for example, ActiveCampaign or Aweber, these are email marketing platforms, but you also have other ways. For example, Excel Online, Google Sheets. You can export everything directly to these programs. It really depends on your use case, but you can connect to things. And most of all, it connects to Zapier, so you can create automations. You can connect to other, here they say 1500 plus apps with Zapier, so you can automate certain things. But what I want to show you, these two, webhooks and API, if you're a developer, if you need a survey that has a bit more advanced features, you have the options here. But the workflows, this is even useful for everyday person or not a developer. What you can do in new workflows. So let me show you. New workflow. Let's call this bad review. And I'm just going to keep it short. So here, event, when submission completed, add a filter. We're just going to say question and answer. In this case, we're going to look specifically at the fourth question here. On a scale of 1 and 5, yes, that's the question. So if people answer 1, 2, or 3, then this will trigger. This workflow will start. And what can you do with this? Actions. You can send an email. You can create a webhook. You can tag the specific answer. You can send it in Slack and create a ticket. So if you're using the ticketing management system inside SurveySparrow, it will create a ticket. We're just going to create an email. And let's say here 2, we're going to select a variable. And where's that question? It's the last one. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's one. So if you know their email, we're going to send it to them. From here, subject, we can write something like this. We're going to replace this with a variable. So from here, I'm going to say, where's that? We can now use the first name because we know it. We're asking it in the first question. Then the from is here. And then where do they reply to? I'm just going to say, support@punchsalad.com. So this is where they can reply to directly because they cannot reply to this email. And now here we could just enter the text. And this is the response. I'm just apologizing and then introducing myself that I'm part of the customer success team and then asking, could you tell me in more detail what went wrong? And then regards, well, Robert. And this is how simple it is. And now we can set the delay so we don't send it out immediately when they submit because, that doesn't seem correct. So let's set 11 minutes. So it looks like it's actually coming from a human. And we could also attach the survey response, but in this case, I'm not going to have it. I want to keep it very casual and we can create it. Now, if somebody submits this form, gives us a rating of 1, 2, 3, then they will get an email from us asking like, hey, what's going wrong? This is how you can also just repair your reputation and make it right by the customer. Step 6 is probably the most exciting part as we can now share our survey with the world. And there's a few ways we can do that. Okay, let's go to the next part, which is share. And we can now share our survey with the world. And you have different options. So here you have create URL, send email, socials, even WhatsApp, and you can share in Teams or Slack. And QR code is pretty cool. So let me show you the most simple and probably used one is you can just copy a URL. This is the long URL and this is the short URL. So let me show you. I'll copy the short URL and I'll just open a new private window. And let's paste it in. You can see it's kind of just scribbles. But when you click on it, you can see that it opens up the survey. Now you probably noticed that there's this is our form name and there's this stuff. Now this is quite useful because let me show you. What it does, it tracks each of these methods to share. So for example, this web link share, this is what you're seeing here. So if I respond now to it, let's respond quickly. So I responded and now if I just refresh this, you can see that there's one response came from this link. And this is brilliant because now you can share it in different places and you will notice, where you're getting best results. You can create multiple links. So you can create one link for, your website, one for your YouTube channel and so on. I'm super excited about this feature because it just gives you a bit more visibility where people come from. Then you can obviously embed this on your site. So how you can do it, you just come here, embed. And from here, you choose what type of embed, let's say just inline embed, and we'll keep this as is. We can just copy this code and save. Now, this is my test website and I want to add the survey to this page. And I built this website with Elementor and WordPress, but this will work pretty much with any page builder that you use because all you have to do is look for HTML. So some sort of HTML block. I'm going to add it here. And now we just paste that code. We copy it from SurveySparrow to here. It just magically appears. You see? There you go. So now if I just save this and preview the changes, scroll down, and there you go. This is my survey here. I can just take it, answer, and so on. This is how easy it is to embed on your website. So let's go back. And now all the responses will be actually here. Embed share to, this is where I would see the responses. Okay, and the other options here, for example, QR code is pretty cool, but just keep in mind with some of these, you need to have sort and plan for them to work. And for example, with QR codes, you can just create one and then you can download it and share it, or you can, print it. If you have real life events, you can just share that with your customers. They can just fill in the form right there on the spot on their phones. Super useful. And again, you will see the results here, QR code, the responses, so you can track how well they're doing. So step 7, let's take a look at the results and reports once you get some responses. And then you can view the results. Now, in this case, it's just one, but let me show you a report or a survey that I run a bit longer. So here I have a survey, it has 19 responses. So let's take a look at those responses. So what type of things you can see here. So I just asked 2 questions and you can see this is how people answered. Multiple choice question, and then you have just open questions. You can see I get quite a lot of just gibberish, but some of it is also useful. And you can here choose to reports. Those were responses. So here a bit more details about this survey. For example, out of 19, and the type of websites they're using is business and service. And here is a bit more information about responses. There's a word cloud here, and well, thank you. I guess you can share this report with your stakeholders also. You can click here or download it. That's why you have the thank you page there as well. And then you have overview. Here you see basically the same stats as in the report. Now, one more feature I want to mention is that if you're an agency, this is super useful to you because you're able to have sub-accounts. So you can have your own account as the agency and then multiple sub-accounts for your clients. That way you can control all your clients in one account. So to see that, you just go here on cogwheel and then you have here sub-account and you can add accounts here under it. New sub-account, so this will be basically your clients underneath it. And you can see you can set pretty much same settings as for the main account. So you can choose the URL and so on. Now you know how to create a beautiful survey. So check out SurveySparrow's pricing page to find out the best plans for you. They have a handy comparison table there. But here's the thing, if no one responds to your surveys, you'll be just wasting your time. That's why you should watch this video next if you want to learn how to get more responses from online surveys.